Hello everybody, what's going on? It's Haas coming at you with a new video. So this is part one, episode one, I should call this, of my 12 days of Christmas. Now how this is going to work, I'm going to briefly go over the 12 days of Christmas thing, literally under a minute. I'm going to make 12 videos, all coming out about gold, how to make gold in some fashion. Some of them are going to be really basic, some of them are going to be really advanced. So obviously pass over the ones that you're obviously past. But I'm going to be starting this as brand new, somebody that doesn't know the auction house. I'm basically going to be explaining it and how to make money with the auction house. Don't be intimidated by my small amount of gold here. This is strictly because this is my main character. I don't keep all my gold on my main character. I don't even do auctions. But I'm doing this on my main character because I don't want to show you the other things because those are part of my gold guides. So I'm going to leave that for the other days. Now, keep in mind, I do have 4 days of Encore planned, which Encore is basically 4 more days after the 12 days. So please, if you have any, or if you like any of the videos, as long as I get 4 videos with 10 likes, I will go ahead and release all 4 of those videos. Not a lot of likes that I need, and not like just 4 videos. So don't like the videos that are obviously crap, that you don't want to and like the videos that are good. So, god damn it, support the channel. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pull out some stuff here and just kind of explain how I would put something on the auction house. So this episode is the basics of the auction house. So I want that to be perfectly clear. 100% the basics. I'm not going to go into any add-ons at the moment. Right now I'm going to tell you what add-ons I suggest you get into, but there will be a TSM guide, so stay tuned for that. That is one of the days of Christmas. Actually, we have a TSM basic guide and a TSM advanced guide, just because I don't want a 2-hour long video of TSM. So keep that in mind. So first thing that you want to do is you want to pick your designated auction house. One of the best auction houses to pick is the one in Orgrimmar down by the Tauren area. If I can just pull up my map here for a second, I'll show everybody. So if we go out to Orgrimmar really quick, this is awesome that I don't have this as a picture, but here we go. Orgrimmar, there we go, Orgrimmar. So right down here, Valley of Wisdom, that's what it is. So go into the Valley of Wisdom because the auction house and the bank are literally right next to each other, so you can go ahead and use those. If you're an engineer, I believe the Shrine of Mop area, the Mop area has a mailbox and an engineering auction house, so you can definitely do that. Like I said, this is a TSM page. I'm not going to explain TSM too much, so I'm going to do this basically as a new character or a new person to the AH, but I recommend that you literally get TSM now. Like, as you're watching this video, even if you don't know how to use TSM, get it right now. And if my TSM guide is out, please go watch it, because I promise you I'm going to make so much more sense once you actually see TSM. It's going to make it a lot easier to make your posts. It's basically going to make it so that it's like a 10-second ordeal for you. So we're going to start with our draining dust. So first off, obviously you can search, you have your different categories of the auction house right here. So let's start into posting. So one of the most important things with posting is when you post something, you don't want to undercut drastically, and you also want to pay attention to what else is up there. So for example, so here I have one, let's see here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. Almost about 10 at 1 gold and 37 silver, so 1 gold, 38 silver technically, and then another, let's just call it 10 at 1 gold, 35 silver. I'm not showing it in TSM. I could get those exact numbers if I needed to in TSM. I'm not showing it just because this is a basic AH guide, not TSM. But here we go at 144. Now you have a choice here. You can undercut the guy at 144 if you have a lot, right? But if you're looking at stacks, it sometimes is a little bit different. So say we're talking about draining stacks instead. Consider stacks and singles as 2 different entities. So if we do stacks, and I wonder how exactly we search. So if we do stacks of 200, we see 170, 173, and you can see that by mousing over. Now that part of the tooltip, if you see that on the tooltip where it says price per unit 1 gold, 73 silver, I believe that is baseline. So you can get that even without an add-on, but you should not be on the auction house without an add-on. So you can kind of see where I'm getting these prices. 1 gold 66 silver, 1 gold. So here we go. We start getting into the 100 stacks. So 1 gold 55 silver is technically what we can price up to if we're posting in stacks. So make sure you're differentiating between a stack and just a single. Because if you're just selling singles, obviously you're selling less. You're going to sell it for less. So you're not going to get as much out of it. But if you're selling for a stack, you can usually get away with selling it for more because people are lazy. When you search something to go buy it, you want the stack. You know, if you need 200 Dranic Dust, what are you going to do? Are you going to click buy out 200 times? No, you're going to pay the extra 11 silver on each one to get a stack of it because, you know, somebody really doesn't care. They just want to buy their stack, level their profession, and get on with it. Make sure that you're not one of those people that when you post. So, for example, when I'm going to post my my stack here of Dranic Dust, so I'm going to start with the stack of 200. I'm going to put 1 stack, and when you hit this, make sure that you're paying attention to the screen. You don't even understand how many times that I haven't hit per unit, and I've done the whole 1 gold 55 silver and posted the entire stack for 1 gold and 55 silver. Don't do that. So hit the per stack drop down and make sure you switch it to per unit if you're dealing with stacks. So I'm dealing with the stack of 200. As I see, stack size is 200. I only have enough to put 1 stack, or else I could change that. So I'm going to do 1 gold and 54 silver and 99 copper. 1 gold, 54 silver, 99 copper. You can always actually put the starting price a little bit lower because if somebody doesn't have an add-on like TSM, essentially these will come up first on the base auction house, not on TSM though. So when TSM is out, or when you're using TSM, everyone should be. Even if you don't auction house, just get it. When you see TSM, or when you have it on TSM, it organizes a bit differently. But with pricing how it works, if I had mine at 1 gold, 54 silver, 99 copper, and it's had the exact same for my bid price, and then somebody undercut me but didn't undercut me on the buyout and undercut me on the bid price, theirs would show before mine. And that's the name of the game. You just want yours to be at the top of the list, so somebody looking for it just wants to buy it. They think it's the best deal, I'm getting it. So if somebody doesn't even undercut you in copper, just undercuts you on the bid, just by a little bit, it'll still post before yours. So make sure you keep that in mind and bid accordingly. If you have people aggressively undercutting you, don't put the bid too low though. I would never put the bid too low because you don't want to get shortchanged. So if I just hit create auction, done. So now I posted the 200 stack at 309 gold. So now let's talk about singles. So it's very easy. All you got to do with the stack size is just switch it to 1, and the number of stacks you can hit maximum. In this case, I'm just going to put 50. So I'm going to put 1 gold, and it was, well, let's check. So if we go current bid, get to the lowest, 1 gold 37. What I'm going to do, because there's no point in doing it for 37, those are going to sell. I'm going to put 1 gold 47, and I'm actually going to show you the bid thing in process. So I'm not going to undercut him at all on the price. So let's do that. So 1 gold 47. Oh well, no, we can keep it at that. That's fine. And 1 gold 47.99. So now we're going to post it like that. And actually, I'm not going to post 50 just because I'm actually just going to cancel these later because I don't want to sell my Dranic Dust. But there we go. So now I'm posting that, and you can see that my bid is not the same as my buyout. And this is why that's important. So you see his Valsia is who we're undercutting. We're not undercutting Amico because Amico is 10 silver less, which doesn't make much sense. So let's just search again. Oh, let's make sure that Dranic Dust is in our search field. Search again. And well, we have somebody that undercut him, but that's okay because I'm more just kind of showing you, and he undercut himself, oddly enough. Yeah, he definitely undercut himself. Okay. Teddy Grams, where are my bids? Oh, see, that's that's where you got to worry, right? Because if you look what his bids are lower, right? His bids are way lower than mine. Even these, the bids are lower than my bids. So this is why someone on a standard auction house isn't going to see the same thing as somebody from like with TSM. So if you can see, and I'm just going to show you because I want to actually show the actual thing. Yeah, so you see Amico right up here, and like I said, the previous ones are undercutting us, right? So obviously somebody's already flooded the auction house, but it's okay because I'm just using this as a demonstration. So here's Amico, here I am, and here's Velcia. So I didn't undercut Velcia at all, not one little bit, but mine are showing up before Velcia. And the only reason being is because I've changed the bid. So keep that in mind when you're posting things. If you just bring the bid a little bit lower, you're going to show up before most people. Like I said, don't bring the bid too low because you don't want to lose your stuff. So keep that in mind. Now, when we're looking at, say, buying things, so that's important. So the reason why this is important is because you can always buy things that are either running out in time or that are just really low. So let's just take a look. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a look at the general auction house. So let's go ahead and take a look at the, let's say, mounts. So we're going to go miscellaneous and then mounts. So the reason why I'm going to show you this because I want to show you the time left feature, which I think is completely underused by a lot of people if you're not using an auction house add-on. Now, if you are using an auction house add-on, you should still be using the time left feature because you could always snag a few buyouts or a few bids. But at the same time, you probably have plenty of sniping features already in your add-ons. You probably don't need this. So you see with the mounts, here we go. We have a one at medium. Now, I'm not saying that I would buy this, but I could theoretically just bid basically 3K less and end up getting that mount at 3K less. So you see with big ticket items, a lot of people put their bid and buyout at a different price because they don't want to get shortchanged on something like that. Where this guy maybe incorrectly put that in or whatnot. So let's use the same feature with armor. So we can see with armor, and I have TSM, so it's kind of telling me what's transmog pieces and what's not. So keep in mind some of my tooltips will look bigger, but I promise you all, I will explain all of that. You can actually see one of those auctions already expired. But with all these auctions, you can totally see, if something is massively underpriced with the buyout, and you're just looking for the short span. So when you're looking for the short span, see, you can get these gloves for about 300 less. Now keep in mind, I wouldn't really do this with transmog. I'm going to put a transmog video out there, so be wary when you're doing this with transmog. Make sure that you actually know your market before you do it, because it's a quick way for you to lose a lot of gold if you just do this in transmog. But if you do this in like any kind of item that is usable, like a rating item or something like that, that's always good too. You can always check consumables if you want to go item enhancements and take a look at maybe some of the enchants, and see here the 2 weapons savagery, which normally goes for 3K. You could probably bid for 2,300. It's not that much of a short, but I'm just kind of giving you the rundown of how you can find those deals, buy them out, or not buy them, bid on them, let the time run out, and just get it in your mailbox, and somebody takes a little bit of a less cut on the actual item. So that's one way of actually buying your items in that regard. So you can always do that. Another thing is obviously you're going to want to do some sniping, which that's something that I'm going to cover in my advanced feature. Just because sniping is really hard to use on the basic auction house, I'm not really going to show it. But essentially what you're doing is you're looking for for items that are extremely underpriced and definitely could have a better price. So you could always check and see maybe what's a little bit underpriced. So maybe there's a hex sweep bag here for 400 gold. Let's just be unrealistic here for a second. 400 gold, and then you just pick it up. and then you just resell it. So that's basically what sniping is. But like I said, with sniping, you're gonna actually want to work with an add-on. You don't want to do sniping just by combing through the auction house, how I'm doing it right now. So that's how you post, that's how you buy, and obviously you can see your bid listing. So if you do bid on anything, you can just watch it here. And obviously here are your auctions. If you get enough auctions that there's a giant scroll wheel down, it'll actually tell you how many auctions, but plenty of add-ons will actually tell you how many auctions you have up there. So either way, it's irrelevant if you actually get the add-ons. I guess as a starter, to say one thing that you guys need to get is an add-on. So definitely get your add-ons. Definitely get situated with the auction house. But when you're with the auction house, you want to know a few things about people undercutting you. Now, you're going to have some competition coming out if you're selling things like consumables, glyphs, any kind of item, really anything on the auction house. If you're putting anything on the auction house, chances are there's somebody that's posting the exact same item and they're going to post it lower than you. You're going to come to your auction before it's even expired and somebody's already undercut you, maybe multiple times depending on the item. A good way to counter that is when you're posting items, only post for a certain amount of time. So say you only post for 12 hours instead of 24 on things like glyphs, because glyphs are constantly undercutted. Pretty much within the hour, if you're not undercut on glyphs, then WoW is literally crashed, so nobody's buying your glyphs anyway because nobody's actually on the game. Because if it was live, they would definitely be undercutting your glyphs. So keep that in mind when you're dealing with items that get undercut a lot. Don't put them at high times when you hit the auction. So you can just do that by switching the duration bar down in your auctions tab. So when you hit the duration bar, you can go 12 hours, you can go 24. And if you're dealing with an item like a transmog piece, a really rare transmog piece, or a mount or something that maybe won't get undercut that much, then it's pretty safe to go ahead and hit the 48-hour tab and just have it at 48 hours. So they're all functional and they're all used in a different way. You just have to know how to use them. Just make sure that you don't get ripped off. That's the biggest thing on the auction house. Make sure when you're posting things, you're posting them at the correct price. You're not buying overpriced things. You're not selling them completely underpriced, like undercutting. Like if I went with this Drinic Dust and undercut and just put it at 1 gold each, yeah, it would sell. But at the same time, it's going to sell just as fine the way that I have it right now. Even if I don't repost, if I don't undercut the ones that are up there, these most likely I will log in tomorrow and these will be sold. So that's a good thing to think of, because if you think about it, they're just singles. There's probably maybe 50 or 60 up there, and 50 or 60 is not going to get somebody far. They're probably buying at least 1,000 Drinic Dusts if they're actually a moderate player on the auction house, if they're using it for auction house, or they're buying 200 just to do their work orders, whatever it may be. And like I said, that works with any item, literally any item. If you have old mats, new mats, old items, new items, whatever it may be, just learn your market, learn what you're doing, whether you're doing leatherworking, glyphs, consumables, potions, enchants, or whatever it is. So this is my basic guide to the auction house. I know it didn't really go too in depth, but like I said, guys, this is a strict basic guide. My next guide that's going to be coming out here is actually it's going to be enchanting. So you're going to kind of see me posting enchanting. I am going to be using TSM for the future videos. Obviously I have TSM, I'm just not using it right now. I'm going to use TSM, but I'm not going to explain it until I actually do the TSM basic video, and then I'll put out another TSM advanced video near the end of the 12 days of Christmas. So make sure you all stay tuned for that. If you like this video, go ahead and like it, and you could have a chance of having 4 more videos at the end of the series, all on how to make gold. I promise you, you are going to make a lot of gold with this series. This episode may not seem like it, but like I said, I want this to be a guide that everyone can watch starting out in the auction house if they've never played WoW before ever, and be able to come out with a couple 100,000 worth of gold. So let's all get rich together. Like I said, like, comment, and subscribe, and you guys have a great night.